In a quiet village in the heart of England, there lived three inseparable friends: Arthur, Thomas, and George. Since their school days, they had shared everything: their bread, their secrets, and their struggles. The villagers often remarked, "There is no bond stronger than the one between these three." George was a hard-working farmer, Arthur was a clever merchant, and Thomas was a skilled blacksmith. Though they labored from dawn until dusk, true wealth always seemed just out of reach. Yet they remained content, often saying, "We may not have gold in our pockets, but we have a brotherhood that no money can buy." They never imagined that this very bond was about to face a test that would change their lives forever. One rainy evening, while returning from the market, the three friends found an elderly traveler collapsed by the roadside. He was frail and shivering from the cold. Without a second thought, they carried him to their warm cottage. Arthur bought him hot food, George provided a dry bed, and Thomas tended to his weary feet. For 3 days, they cared for him as if he were their own kin. When the old man finally regained his strength, he looked at them with a mysterious smile. "My sons," he said, "in this selfish world, such kindness is rare. I have watched your devotion to one another, and I wish to reward your virtue." From his heavy leather bag, the old man pulled out 3 identical, sealed iron boxes. The old man handed a box to each friend and spoke solemnly. "Inside these boxes lies a great fortune, but there is a condition. For this wealth to be a blessing, the boxes must remain unopened for exactly 3 years. Until then, hide them together in a safe place. On the 3rd anniversary, I shall return, and only then may you unlock the secret." The old man told them there was a fortune inside, but he never said exactly what it was. He then vanished into the mist. The friends buried the boxes in a hidden cellar, swearing a sacred oath. "None shall enter this cellar unless all 3 are present." Time passed slowly. 2.5 years later, Arthur, the merchant, fell gravely ill and passed away. Thomas and George were devastated. They mourned their friend deeply and vowed, "We will protect Arthur's box so that his children may receive their father's legacy when the time comes." However, just a few days before the 3-year mark, George and Thomas went to the cellar to check on the boxes. To their horror, they found the heavy door ajar. Arthur's box, the box belonging to their late friend, was smashed open and lay empty on the cold floor. The fortune was gone. The 2 remaining friends looked at each other with sudden distrust. "If I didn't do it, it must have been you," they shouted. Their lifelong trust turned into bitter accusations. The matter was brought before the county's wisest judge. The judge listened patiently and decided to question each man alone. First, he called George. "Tell me," the judge asked, "how much do you think the gold inside your late friend's box weighed?" George shook his head. "Your Honor, I have no idea. The old man only said it was a fortune. Since the box was never opened in my presence, I cannot tell you if it was gold or lead. I only know that the box is now empty." Next, the judge called Thomas and asked him the same question. Thomas answered with great confidence, "Your Honor, it is quite simple. For a box of that size and weight, it must have contained at least 5 kilograms of solid gold. Whoever stole it must have taken that exact amount." The judge summoned everyone to the courtroom. He looked sternly at Thomas and declared, "You are the thief. You are the one who robbed the children of your dead friend." Thomas turned pale and trembled. "How can you possibly know that?" he stammered. The judge explained, "The old man never told any of you what was inside those boxes. He only spoke of a fortune. Your friend George, being honest, told me he had no idea what the box contained. But you, Thomas, spoke with absolute certainty. You knew it was 5 kilograms of gold. A man can only know the exact substance and weight of a sealed box if he has broken it open and weighed the treasure himself. Your greed made you measure your crime, and your own tongue has betrayed your heart." Thomas fell to his knees and confessed his guilt. The stolen fortune was returned to Arthur's family, And the village realized that while a man can hide his actions, his thoughts will always find a way to the light.